Many pretty girls out there, different colored eyes, different colored hair. There's a whole lot of fish in the sea, but she had me hooked when she looked at me. And I got a rush, something about us gave me a buzz. I can't get enough, no. Ain't no love gonna do me better. Never be a way that I could ever forget her. She's a one of a kind, hell of a time. Thank the Lord up above I met her. Ain't no leaving when the going gets tough. She ain't the kind of girl you're gonna give up. If she ain't the one, then I don't want no love.
That was No Love by Cliff Dorsey. We have him in the studio today. Cliff's been traveling all over the place. Cliff, how are you doing today? Tell us a little bit about yourself and the story behind the song that we just heard.
I'm doing good. It's good to be here on the Texas Brew Radio. I appreciate you having me. And yeah, that song right there, the writers on that was Zach and Colton Swon from the Swon Brothers, a guy named Red Farron, and also Josh Gleave. And that song's about, finding that person that just completes you, your significant other, your best friend. And once you find them and meet that connection, then you don't want anything unless it's them. It's just that's your person, and I'm happy to be able to experience that myself. And yeah, it's been a really fun song to play out with the band. It's really got a groove to it, which my style of country, I'd say, is Texas, and with the fiddle and the steel guitar, and you'll hear that with Your Guess, the new song. But I'm from North Central Florida. I'm from High Springs, Florida, which is a two-light town near Gainesville, home of the Florida Gators. Go Gators. Also home of Tom Petty. And it's been an amazing journey just growing up there. I started playing guitar when I was 15 at a little music store and started doing shows full time when I was 21. 17, I finally got 2 hours worth of music that I could play out. And from 21 up to 29, my current age, it's been 270 shows a year. Signing with my label about 2 years ago and doing radio tour. I just got back from a 10-day run up in the Northeast, went up to New York State and Pennsylvania, West Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, maybe some places that I forgot that I went. Went and saw Niagara Falls for the first time. But yeah, God's put some great people in my life, and it's been a great journey.
So when you went to Niagara Falls, tell me that Canada does not look like a scene from the Jetsons when you look across.
Yeah, I think that's Ontario over there, Toronto. I think it's Ontario.
Man, I don't remember, but it definitely looks like I was waiting for the flying cars to come around that little dome.
Toronto is what it is. And yeah, they got the casinos over there, which I'm about to go to Vegas, so I feel like it's the Canada
the
version.
Vegas of Canada.
Yeah, maybe in their own way, but it was really cool to look down from the U.S. side and see the two boats, the boat tours.
The boats look so tiny from down there, and I think that if you really want to get a view of Niagara Falls, you really need to either be on the Canadian side or in that boat down there because it doesn't look as impressive from standing at the top. You're like, wow, this isn't really big at all.
You're right. It kind of makes you want to get in a barrel, though,
Right.
Let's see if we can try your luck going down.
I was looking at the fencing and thinking about all of the little kids walking around there, and was just like, man, there would be that water does definitely move fast, and that country up there is so beautiful. I got to go up to Utica.
Okay.
Did you get to experience Syracuse at all?
I did not. It was my only day off on the radio tour and Niagara Falls. I did get to go to this amazing ice cream shop that had been open up since like the 20s
Oh,
afterwards.
wow.
Yeah, but that's beautiful country. How was that?
It was absolutely, I mean, I went in the fall, so just the color of the leaves. It was like driving through a painting. And
Wow.
then I actually went to this place called Howe Caverns. And so it's a big, like, you got to go like a couple stories deep down into the ground to get into the caverns. And it was absolutely beautiful. That was 20 years ago. Crazy to think. My daughter's, well, I guess it was 18 years ago. My daughter, no, 19 years ago, somewhere around there. My autistic daughter had literally just learned how to walk. She was going through all sorts of therapy. And they were like, you're her comfort zone. You need to leave the room or she's never going to do this. And I was like, oh, well, if a comfort zone's the problem, we'll go on a road trip and she won't have one. And by the time we got to North Carolina, she was walking. And we actually got kicked out of those caverns and did not get to go through the whole cavern because she had learned to walk and she was going to do it on her own. And that's like a dangerous place for a toddler to be walking around on the ground.
Yeah, that's one, heck of a place to pick to start walking for the first time. That's great though. That sounds like a really good life event.
Right. The walking wasn't the issue. It was the screaming because I was holding her hand and she wanted to do it on her own. And they were like, ma'am, you could capsize the whole cave. It's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a very good idea. Let me just get on out of here. But Syracuse, how we were talking about how like people in the old days, how we have it like a life of luxury now, even though a lot of us don't see it like that. Syracuse is kind of like a reenactment city. So when I first drove into town, I was kind of weirded out because there's a bunch of people dressed like they're going to the Civil War and they're packing guns across their shoulders. And then you come around the corner and there's the women in the dresses. It's really a cool town to kind of just drive through because it's a whole, like, the amount of people that are dressed in that era, it's just astonishing.
Now, is it Civil War reenactment or was it like Revolutionary War reenactment?
Oh, good grief. I'm not sure. I think it was Civil War reenactment, honestly.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. Just Google Syracuse, New York. I think that the town does that. Like, that's what they do. Like, I know that I grew up in the Midwest and we had a thing where we had the Civil War reenactment and we had the cannons and stuff at the park. And you got the old guys that make the homemade cigars out of the real tobacco leaves, like non-filter, hardcore.
That's awesome. Probably better for you.
No, right? Right? Goodness.
But we're right here on, tomorrow's 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everyone. And that is, whenever you think about, this country, breaking away and doing its own thing. I think the Civil War isn't really brought into that too much, but those are folks that, they laid their life on the line that we can have independence and vote and have democracy here. And just brother fought brother, and a lot of people, it was terrible, obviously, just like all war is. But it's great that we can be here and somehow survive traffic today. And one thing about that northeastern part, upstate New York, and they love their country music. I played a songwriters festival up there, the Holstein Hoedown. That was amazing. It was a whole lot of fun. They had a hayride. I even stopped somewhere and to this barbecue restaurant, and it was actually, that was in Pennsylvania at the barbecue restaurant, and I asked for sweet tea. They went in the back and made me some and said they might add it to the menu now because they don't have sweet tea out there.
Oh my goodness. That's
they love their country music. Yeah.
You are going to be a legend. So you need to send them a poster with you holding a glass of sweet tea, and just the poster has to say, "I brought the tea."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sweet tea.
Yeah, I think that I always grew up with sweet tea, and I don't know. I don't know, but a lot of the North does not have sweet tea. And honestly, it's probably better that you don't put your sugar in your tea. But, it
You only
doesn't
live
taste
once,
the same. Sun tea. I remember growing up and my grandma always made sun tea. And
Oh
that,
yeah, same, especially in Florida.
yes, yes. I think sun tea is a big thing, in Florida. I mean, obviously, it's the land of the sun.
Right. Well, the
Um,
best thing about the sun tea is you put a bunch of lemons in there afterwards, make you kind of like an Arnold Palmer. With the sun tea, it hits different. It's good.
it does, and I'm wondering, like, does it absorb the vitamins from the sun that we need? So, like, instead of taking vitamin D, would sun tea be sufficient?
Oh, it's got that cultured magic in there somewhere. It does something. I don't know if it's in the form of vitamins, but the caffeine is definitely, yeah, it's going.
Heck yeah. Pennsylvania was an interesting one for me too, because I felt like I was in a horror movie driving through, like right before you get to Erie, it gets really eerie, especially in the
Oh
wintertime. Like I
no.
told you, I was in the fall. So, like, when you're driving, it literally, you look down, like you're driving down the road, and it's like you can look down off of a cliff, and that little church that has that big pew looks like a tic tac. And there's nothing
Oh,
but the cliff on the side of the road. Did you guys drive through that part?
I think we did. Yeah, everything's green. Whenever I went inside, it was a little less spooky, I'd say. But yeah, it was. I mean, it was a view. It was beautiful, and yeah, I could see that time of year it being the set of maybe the movie that you might watch around spooky
I was
season.
like, isn't there is like a horror film that came out of Erie. Um, I don't remember what it was. I'm gonna have to think of that and message it
Yeah,
to
we're gonna have to fact check that.
somebody. Oh goodness, the fact checkers! Bring out the fact checkers. Since they have all of this information and they know all of this knowledge and they know the truth, couldn't we come up with a TV channel that had all of this information and call it the news?
Well, yeah, I'm not
You
touching
don't
that
have
one.
to answer that one. Oh, I
It would
saw
have,
that as a meme and I just had to share. It was a perfect opportunity to share that.
it would have to be a nonprofit.
I think okay, so Sleepy Boy said it's called Biddy here. I'm not sure where he's from, but I think he's talking about the
It's
17.
probably Pennsylvania.
Oh.
He might be one of those Civil War reenactors up there that you saw.
Possibly. Oh my goodness. Well, it sounds like you've definitely had a good run in your music, a good run in life, and you have a lot of amazing people that are working with you. You just mentioned 3 or 4 names on one song. I'm excited to give a listen to this next song, and I'm not gonna call it what I called it before, so you don't have to yell at me. This next one,
I won't yell.
this next one is called New Moon.
Close.
New Neon. Oh my goodness, dyslexia. I at least didn't call it Neon Moon. My
Same.
goodness. This is New Neon. Third
Yep,
time's
gotta
a
find a
charm.
new neon.
They always got a heavy pour. I got the high score on the dartboard by the back door. I always came here to watch she came here. She drank the same beer. It was dang near perfect. We had some good old days. Since it ended, no, it ain't been the same. Damn, I really love this place. It's a shame. I gotta find a new neon. Tinted door I can walk through, bartender to talk to, jukebox and lean on. Where I won't see her name, on a one by the name. I don't want move on. Someone new to our old song. Lost a lot more than I thought. Now she's gone down. I gotta find a new Neon.
Goodness, I'm still laughing.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great song. It was called New Neon, you guys. It's not Neon Moon. It's not New Moon. It is officially the name of the song is New Neon. Oh
I
my
mean, if
goodness.
Brooks
So I
and
sent
Dunn wants to
you-
come in and do a feature, I'm up for that. It'd be like, I gotta find a new neon if you lose your one and only, you know?
Right? You should do a mashup. I want like pull it like those are the fun songs. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Zach Webb. He's one of few artists that I've seen that do it and pull it off, and it leaves the crowd like, you know, because you're expecting. I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it, you know, you hear the first song in chorus and you know the song and you've heard it a lot, you kind of in your brain skip forward. So when you can take them and surprise them with the song changing into another whole jam that they know and love, it's such an awesome feeling. I love it when artists do that. I ran a club, and a lot of times I got stuck in the DJ booth during happy hour, and everybody hated me because I couldn't listen to the full song. Like, we're listening to 80s songs, you know. We got the chameleon, and I'm like, no, guys, you know the rest of it. Quit crying. Let's go to the next tune.
It was like going through the channels and you can't find what you want to watch.
Right. I was like the DJ without the mixer. I was figuring out how to mix the board myself. And I did. I had two different windows, and I would simultaneously raise the volume and lower the other one. And they'd be like, that was a jam. And I'm like, I know, we're jamming still though.
Yeah, I might have to pull the Florida connections, and Diplo has an album called Florida for some time that he spent there. So I might have to be like, Diplo, come on now. Let's go.
Right. That's it's awesome to have the mashups. He went from like, you know, just one genre to a next, and to be able to diversify it like that even is just awesome. Obviously, that comes with copyrights if you're going to use somebody else's song.
Yeah.
But
He's a
it's
genius.
really cool.
There's one that I can't remember all the artists on there. I just remember Sturgill Simpson was part of it, and Diplo, and there's a girl that can sing her heart out. I can't think of her name. It was the first time I'd heard from her, but that song is awesome. You need to check that out. That's a jam.
Is it called Diplo, or is it?
No, Diplo's in it. I think it's called let's see, something Hearts. And then in parentheses it's called Use Me, but it has hearts in the title. I'll have to think about it, but it's a jam.
We'll have to drop it in the comment section when you when you remember.
Yeah, fact check.
Yeah, where's Facebook at? Don't get them on me though. They fact check the stupidest stuff. Like, I'm like, voice and opinion. Oh my goodness. So I got in trouble because my dog, I have a pit bull, and he's been testy. And I made a post about the fact that he needed neutered, and like, it hadn't even processed to my Facebook yet, and I got incited for terrorism and hate and rioting or something. And it gave me the option of denying it or posting it anyway. And I'm like, I'm going to post it anyway. Like, what
What's
am
your
I
dog's
rioting
name?
about? My dog's name, fittingly, is Loco.
Logo?
Loco, crazy.
Oh, Loco.
And
Okay.
it's Spanish.
So there's
for
like
crazy.
people in the comments like, free my boy Loco, you know? Like,
Don't do it. Don't take his manhood. Oh man,
yeah.
the things Facebook gets us for, and the things they allow are just like a whole oxymoron. So tell us the story behind New Neon.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was another song. So I did the first project, the New Neon EP, which is 6 songs with the Swon brothers, Zach and Colton Swon. And how these songs came about was they said, "Hey, we know you write your own songs. You typically release the songs that you wrote, and we have a bunch of songwriter friends. And if you want to check them out, then we'll put some songs together." So I was thinking, 8 songs, something like that. We only cut in 6. Well, I went over to their house and they had like 51, 55 songs for us to go through. And I was like,
Wow.
whoa.
That's like a whole day's event.
Yeah, it was. And we had like a little speaker, Siri Alexa. And they're like, play this song, play that song. Went down the list and we narrowed that down. And whenever we heard New Neon, it was Robin Collins, right? Which she's amazing writer. She also is a co-writer on Girls Do. And then Summer Overstreet, which she sings as well. She's in a group. You can find her. I haven't got to meet her in person yet, but amazing writer. And then Jason Macy or Massey. I'm not sure how to say his last name. I think it's Macy, but I want to, give him his credit. And yeah, it was just like I'm from a small town where whether you go to that bar or not, everyone knows your name, and word gets around in a small town. Well, it's about getting a relationship, taking that person to all your places, and one of them just so happened to be that bar, and then it doesn't work out, but that person is still at that bar. And the last thing you want to do, you're going to run into each other, unless you're taking shifts, which, probably not. And last thing you want to do is see that person move on with somebody else to your old song. And I think all of us have been there. And that is one thing, like I want to give songwriters their credit. I'm a first of all songwriter. But it's about sharing that story that we all can relate to. I made sure that whatever songs we picked on that project, I didn't have to put on a front of some sort to go up there and be true to the song. And yeah, those sad country songs, happy country songs, it's the ups and downs in life.
Right. And I think everybody has been there, especially if you're from a small town. I mean, dating in a small town is hard.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I
it did well too. It broke the top 40 on the Music Row breakout chart, and that was a big success for us in country radio. And it's nominated for a Josie Award. I'm sorry, I forgot the accolades. That was part of the story. So we'll see if it becomes Country EP of the Year or not for the Josie Awards. But that's the first time I've been a part of that, so I'm seeing what all that entails. I know it's at the Grand Ole Opry, and that'll be cool. That'll be later on in the year.
Yes. So which is that new Neon is up
Yes.
for the
So-
Josie Awards. So guys, go look up Josie Awards, go find Cliff Dorsey and vote.
Yeah, it's the whole EP. So it's the 6 songs in entirety. No Love is on there as well. And that was my debut EP when it came to, working in Nashville. Recorded on Music Row at Reba's old studio there, Starstruck, and some world-class musicians on there. And we're going to be playing it in Vegas this week.
I was going to ask you, are you going out or are you flying out early to partake in the 4th of July festivals out there?
So I'll be here for 4th of July. We're actually going to go see our fireworks tonight. And I have a writer's round tonight as well. So I'm going to try to make it for the fireworks afterwards. And 4th, just going to be getting everything together. The band's flying out early the 5th. And then 6th and 7th, we're going to be playing shows there at Gillies and staying at, I think it's called Treasure Island. But I was mainly focused on what we were playing and where we were playing, not where we were staying.
Right. It's a lot of fun out there. I used to have a trade show out there once a year, and I actually, and this is the weirdest, this in itself is an oxymoron because you think of Vegas and you think of heat and desert and, oh my goodness. It's ice skating. I ice skated on actual ice. They use
Whoa.
actual ice. I'll tell you about a story of me ice skating in Texas. But I ice skated on top of one of the hotel. It wasn't the Aria. It wasn't the Cosmo. It was one of the bigger hotels down there. They set up an ice skating rink on the roof of the hotel. And so it's kind of cool to be able to ice skate when it's not freezing out.
And the sun's out. It's like 100 degrees
in Vegas. Yeah, it does get kind of chillier there, and especially at night. And I think the ice skating is mainly at night. It's a nighttime bar type thing on the roof, but it was a really cool thing. I tried to go to an ice skating thing here in Texas, and it wasn't so cool. I really honestly don't know how the city even allows what happened. It was they gave you ice skates, and they gave you these little buggy things that you hold on to push around, for like if you can't ice skate. The thing is that you had to try not to break your leg to get to that buggy because it was plexiglass with some sort of oil on top of it. It was not it was not ice. Those ice skates were not meant for that. It was an interesting thing. I fell, I bounced, I left.
That sounds more like a trap.
That's what we thought. We drove 40 minutes to go to that trap, and we were like, well, we drove all the way here, we might as well try it. And as soon as we tried it, we were like, idea gone. Idea gone. We are too old for this. The next bounce might not be a bounce, it might be a break.
Yeah, they need to check your insurance before you go in there.
Well, I was wondering too, because they had kids running it. It was like, I was just like mind blown. I was like, I don't know whose liability insurance is paying for this contraption.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah, so if you are going ice skating in Texas, I suggest that if it's an outdoor rink, you do your research before you drive.
That sounds
Support
like a
the
country
kids.
song in itself, ice skating in Texas.
Right. Yeah. It would be an interesting song. It was an interesting thing. I wanted to sit around and people watch, but I think we were some of the only idiots that signed up for that.
you were the people were watching.
We were the people. Yes, we were the people. And there were like probably 20 teenagers sitting around watching us like, what the hell are they doing? They got out there and they could do it. I don't know how they did it because I can ice skate. Me and my kids, I'm from Illinois. We had an ice skating rink, and that's hockey. Like, we had ice skating rinks everywhere, and they would open up the hockey rinks for us to go public skate on all the time. And so we went like at least once or twice a month. We went ice skating. I can skate backwards. I can skate in circles. Like, I can skate, but not on that. Not in Texas.
I'm hoping to be able to see a lot more of Texas, coming up here. I've been there a little bit to visit, but I haven't really played many shows in Texas yet, and I might have to experience the ice skating. But it sounds like it was maybe not a 5-star review for you.
I was thinking that we should have checked the reviews before we left. I was like, next time somebody gets a genius idea like this, let's investigate it first.
Right.
It was fun. I mean, we're going to be telling the story forever. So, I mean, we got our money's worth out of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a team bonding experience.
We survived.
No, I have a better review, but I actually took a bunch of my friends up last year about this time up to Montana, and we just hiked every single day. We stayed in this cabin by a lake called Painted Rock Lake. It was 50-degree water. People were out there where the lake kind of turns into a river. They were out there trying to catch some trout. And being from Florida, that was a completely different environment for me. But it is the first place that I'd ever been that I was just like, wow, that's
That's like
like,
going to the cold springs,
yeah,
except for
well,
it's cold too.
I was about to say, but see, the springs in Florida, they're 72 year round. This water was 50 degrees or 55, somewhere around there, to where whenever you got out, your legs were red from just the blood, like
Going
moving.
back to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was just clear water, beautiful. Saw some mule deer and didn't see a bear, which I was okay with. I was the one that had the bear spray, and I was like, I really don't.
One
I
use
really don't need to be that one with nature while we're going on these like 9 mile hikes. And it was fun. I spent most of the time, and it was 80s during the day and 50s at night. We had a fire ring, so we just sat around the fire all night. There was no AC in the cabin, and there didn't need to be because the cool air from at night kind of lasted all day long as you didn't open up the windows. And then at night you open up the windows and it was perfect.
Oh, nice. Nice. I remember, and ironically, there are actually bears in Florida too. And I didn't know that when I first
Yeah.
moved there. I had someone come into the bar, like infuriated that they just wrecked their brand new Camaro into a bear. And I was unsure if I should serve them because I was like, dude, we're in Florida. You mean an alligator? You wrecked into an alligator? No, I wrecked into a bear. Like, bro, where
Yeah.
were you? Like here in Florida, you wrecked into a bear. And
Oh
and
yeah.
I guess in Ocala, and I actually got to adventure up into that area and like a year later, and I was driving and they actually have bear crossing zones. They
Yeah.
have
Well,
bridges that go with the fence, like 10-foot fence along the side of the highway, and bridges that go underneath the highway so that the bears can cross the highway.
yeah. My question for that unruly customer would have been, how do you think the bear felt? You and your Camaro, like, geez,
It's
like
like,
you're in Florida, so I really hope you had insurance. So that's the law. You
right?
can get a new Camaro.
Yeah, it just it was just a wow factor to me because I was like unaware that there were bears in
Yeah,
Florida. I was
it would have been
new.
the same if they would have walked in and been like, "Yeah, I just ran over and ate like a Martian." And you're
Right?
like, "No, I don't think so."
Or I mean, it's the equivalent of saying I ran into a moose. Like they say you're in the wrong part, man. Like that's not the right territory. But they really do have. They're smaller, obviously, little black bears, but they're still.
Florida has a little bit of it all.
It truly does. It truly does. Florida is an amazing place. I lived there for 12 years, 4 years in East Orlando, 4 years in Ormond Beach, and 4 years in Stuart, Florida.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm familiar with all those.
Absolutely loved them. Florida's kind of crazy. In East Orlando. It's not like that anymore. But when you would drive from Orlando to Cocoa Beach on Highway 50, there used to be like a country area. And so when the city stopped and the country started, that was the area that I lived in. And they
Gotcha.
have a racetrack out there that does
Yeah.
figure eight school bus races.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the race culture is really big. Just racing cars, whether it be late models or demolition derby or dirt track, and yes, school buses. That's big in Florida.
So the other thing that they raced at that track that was really interesting was they took a boat. It took an old speedboat, took it off the
Okay.
trailer, tied it to the back of a pickup truck, and did figure eight races. Boat and
Okay,
trailer
that's new.
figure eight races.
Boat trailer. Yeah, I mean,
It
it's
was really
not.
cool watching those trucks blast into those boats when they'd hit that figure eight at the wrong time, but it,
Dang, it's like
it's
a
an interesting
Camaro and a
twist on
bear.
race.
Yeah.
It's like a Camaro hitting a bear. All right. Well, I want to let everybody know, where do they go if they want to book you? Where cliffdorsey.com. Where else did they go to find you?
So all the socials, whether it be TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, it is Cliff Dorsey Music, CliffDorsey Music. You can find it there. All the streaming platforms got plenty of music for y'all to hear, and more on the way. We're trying to get a new song out there. Your Guess. We just got done doing some radio with that. I was talking about earlier, and it's moving up the charts pretty quickly, pretty rapidly, especially for the summer whenever everybody and their brother and uncle have a song out. And yeah, if you do follow us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. That really helps. It helps us get in that algorithm a little bit more. And just been posting, about to release a acoustic video of Your Guess here pretty soon.
Nice. Well, we're going to listen to that song before we let everyone get back from their lunch break. Do you want to go ahead and tell us the story about that song?
Sure. So I wrote Your Guess with my buddy JP over here in Nashville, Tennessee. There's a little bar down the road near Opryland called Scoreboards, and I'd play there. And the Nashville's Most Wanted round, shout out Nashville's Most Wanted. My buddy Cody Purvisett hosts that. And JP was sitting at the bar. I'm like, that guy has to play music. So I went over and introduced myself. I said, do you play guitar or any instrument? No, I don't play guitar. I said, do you sing it all? No, I don't sing it all. And I was thinking I was striking out. But I said, hey, do you write songs? And he said, yeah, man, I write some songs. It's like, well, all right, let's write one. And Your Guess is the first song that we wrote together. Miss Janelle Arthur is a producer on it. She's done some work with Dolly Parton and has her own music out there that's amazing. She's singing harmonies on it if you listen close. And just an all-star band. Janelle Fleener is the fiddle player on there. She's been on tour with George Strait lately and is CMA Musician of the Year 5 times in a row. Tim Galloway is the session leader. He plays acoustic guitar and banjo and really a million instruments. And he's the ACM Guitarist of the Year. And just, all-star band. All of them are just amazing. So as a result, you get Your Guess. And it just came out exactly the way that we were thinking, and I think it's kind of the horsepower. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoy.
Nice. Well, before we listen to this song, do you have any other exciting news or stories that you want to share?
Yeah, like I said, playing Vegas for the very first time, the 6th and 7th at Gillies. We got the Josie Awards coming up later on this year. Whenever I get back, I'm going to be playing in Gatlinburg later on in July and playing some weddings. But just getting out there, doing the radio. Your Guess is playing on country radio quite a bit. So see if your station's playing it. If so, call and request it. It's a storytelling song, and it leaves you hanging at the end on what happens. So without further ado, here's Your Guess. Thank you for having me on Texas Brew Radio.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
From start to finish, she can read me just like a book. I know I'm pushing my luck when she gets to that look. She tells her mama I'm a creature of habit. By now you think she would about had it. From start to finish, she can read me just like a book. When you gonna grow up, learn to walk that line? My backs ain't packed, but running short on time. Said I'm doing my best while you're losing your mind. Can't you see, baby, that I'm trying? So Your Guess, it's as good as mine.